How are you this morning? I kind of had to stop and think about what day of the week it was. And I know this is going to be another crazy week, so that's okay. And then we'll be back to normal. I don't know if I do normal, but they say we're going to do normal. It has been a busy few days. Christmas is done and all away and in the shed. I'm so thankful for that. If you know, you know, you know, I know when I'm done, I'm done. So that is all done. Now we're on to end of year stuff. So it's end of month, end of year, all that fun. So my desk looks like a hurricane has landed on my desk. That's okay. Pulling off all the favors and doing that kind of stuff. I'll be training people this morning. People have already stopped by this morning, blessing the station. I've got all kinds of stuff going on, and I just love it. I love being busy, and I love taking care of stuff. Last night, a couple granddaughters of my son stopped by to watch the football game with us. It was really boring at first, and then it got really, really good, and then we ended up losing, literally with 2 seconds to go. Yes, I would not have made that play if I was a coach. I would not have made that call, but, I'm not the coach, and so here we are. Yeah, but we're still in the playoffs, so praise the Lord for that. But we need to show up before the fourth quarter. We just need to show up before the fourth quarter. Not that I don't love an exciting fourth quarter, but yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. So I am not a person that does New Year's resolutions. I'm just not that person because I know I will not keep them. I like to have a word for the year, have not got that word yet for the year, and I like to do goals. I'm a big goal setter. So already thinking of some goals that I want to get done. I was working in the office yesterday at the house and starting to, go through a pile of stuff and taking it to the trash can. You're doing stuff when the trash can is overflowing. Yes. And so I grab a bag and I go through a bag or whatever I'm going through, and I'm really getting good about, is it a need? Is it a want? Is it a keep? And so that is my goal, is to continue that this year, is to continue, grabbing stuff and going through it. And why do I keep every stupid piece of paper that I ever had in my life? I do not need to do that. And so pray for me as I am working on stuff like that. And my husband is pressure cleaning today. I was hoping he does the sidewalk also. I don't know if they'll do it, but I was hoping they would. So we're going to get our house pressure cleaned. I always love a clean house outside and in, and just loving life. Thankful for a nice holiday season. Thankful for everybody I got to see and spend time with. Praying for good friends of ours. They lost a relative this week, and so that is super hard this time of year. So pray for Cuba, Crystal, and family as they're dealing with all that. Not a good time, but thankful for the testimony of forgiveness that came out of all that. God is so good. When he asks you to do something, it's easy, to be busy. It's easy to put it off. It's easy to have another reason. But you need to stop. When God clearly tells you to do something, we don't know what's going to happen a month down the road, weeks down the road, or whatever. And so we need to stop and do whatever he asks us to do. And so thankful for the testimony of the healing of the relationship before they got that bad news. So praying for them, praying for ministries. I got all kinds of emails this morning with people wanting appointments and stepping by and doing things like that. Exciting. And I have got a list of I have been making my list and checking it twice this morning. I needed more than a sticky. So if you know that I'm a sticky girl. I needed more than a sticky of the list today. So that's okay. I like it when it's crazy busy around here. I like it to make that list and check it off. I like goals. So excited to see what God is going to do this coming year. Thankful for all things that have happened in 2025. There's some things that were uncomfortable in 2025 that God brought me through that didn't know that I was going to be going through, but it's okay that I went through. There's some great things that happened in 2025. We turned 40. That was exciting. We did a big shoe drop. That was really cool in our parking lot and gave away 500, 600, 700 pairs of shoes, some crazy amount of shoes, plus able to help other organizations. Got in a lot of volunteer hours. I was just going over my calendar, putting out the new calendar. I like a fresh new calendar, a clean slate. I am a person that does like to write on the calendar the different things. I like old school writing on a calendar. And so reflecting on the things I got to do this year, I love a good food drop. That is something that I thoroughly enjoy. And got to do the toy drop this year. That was really fun. I've enjoyed working with diapers this year again. Wet ones, to be a matter of fact. I've been really obsessed with doing the wet ones this last year, and I'm very thankful that I got to be part of that. And so just thankful for Volusia County Women That Care and all the wonderful organizations that I have met and got to do the different things throughout the year. So we're going to be scheduling that the end of the year, so beginning of the year, so probably next week or so, a recap of last year. And I love hearing about what they got the money for and what they ended up doing with the money for. So I'm going to schedule that. Super excited about that. I'm just thankful that God has used these airwaves to be a blessing and use these airwaves to come into your home. And one of the things that most exciting for me was YouTube. When I say that, I'm not really a YouTuber, but the fact that we now have YouTube. And so shout out to Shane for getting that all taken care of. That was a desire of my heart. So WAPN 91.5 FM is our YouTube, and very excited about that. It just another way to get WAPN out there, and that is my goal. We have the same goal from 40 years ago when we started WAPN, is to win souls to Christ and to pray for you. And we are continually, all these years later, to have prayer lines and to keep the word out there. One of the things I thoroughly love about the holiday season is I love Christmas music, of course, but then I love that we do the salvation prayer all throughout the regular programming. We have the salvation prayer, and I would like to revamp that and get different people to come in and record the salvation prayer or send it to me and have that as an ongoing thing. So pray for me as I figure all that out, because that's something I would like to do. But, as God is, giving me ideas and having me do different things, I'm just thankful. I am very thankful to be able to program. I love to program. Came in here early and, been working on getting all things Christmas done and all things back to praise and worship. I am a praise and worshiper. I love live praise and worship. I love that element of feeling like you're in the presence of the Lord. And I believe live praise and worship just brings me right there. And so I was just really jamming on music this morning and thanking the Lord for WAPN and thanking for this outlet and thanking him for all the different ideas and wisdom and direction and guidance that he leads. He's the leader. I'm the follower, and just equips me in order to do all this. And I'm thankful. I got up this morning excited about the end of the year, excited about what the new year will bring. Excited about training. I love training people. And I want to remove the iPad out of the studio and have all podcasts. And so I have a list of people that still do it old school. And if you're on that list, I need to get you in here. We need to get trained, because I am going to be removing that iPad and having it only where you can do the podcast thing, because why not? If we can do that and we can have the YouTube and Facebook all at the same time, why not use the equipment? Why not use the technology that we have? And so that is something super important to me. And I have just drawn a line in the sand and said, okay, by the end of January, you must be trained on that. And so that is something that I'm really excited about doing. I love it when God, puts me in a position, sets me up and says, we're doing it and we're going to go for it. And so it's kind of, I feel like about a few things in my life right now. I've been patiently waiting, and I've been kind of sitting over there nonchalant, just, carrying on with my life, doing whatever I need to do. And then he'll go, nope, now is the moment. Now is the time. I want you to do this. And so he's having me do a couple of things that are uncomfortable. And uncomfortable is also really, really good. Because when you're uncomfortable, it stretches you. And if you're uncomfortable and being stretched, you're going to have a new zeal, a new feeling, a new whatever. And so I do like uncomfortably stretched. And so I was giggling about that this morning, because I was going, okay, what are we going to do? And one of the things is, like I said, get outside of the normal, do a couple different things that I really bring back some old school. I love new things. I love technology. I love all that, but you can't give up the salvation prayer. I mean, the salvation prayer is so wonderful. And during this last few weeks when the different people were coming on, and I feel like, it's funny when I say this, I feel like I got saved like 50 times during the month of December, because people would come on and the way they would explain or how they would lead you to the Lord or encourage you to give your life to Jesus as simply as saying the word Jesus. And it was just great. It was just, it felt like a fresh new thing. And I feel like we have had a movement this year, a revival this year has been going on, with all the great music, all the young people and all the great music. I feel like never, ever before have we seen such a movement between the young people, the college people, the high schoolers. When your granddaughter gets all this Christian stuff for Christmas and her birthday and so excited and boldly declares it and boldly wears it, it is just so special. I even had got a pin made for her, and she didn't want to use the pin until she's older when she goes to school to be a nurse practitioner. And I was like, no, honey, you can use it now. And Nana will get you another one or whatever you need at that point. And I love seeing the young people not being ashamed of the gospel. And so that is a big movement right now. And I think that as we're doing that movement, we also need to have this salvation boldly out there more. I love it. Like the communion, we have the communion, wafers and drinks in here. And I love it when my prayer line people do communion live over the air. It is so special. And so there's a few things I feel like that we need to go back to. And those will be one of the things that I would love to go back to is the salvation thing. So that is something I need new recordings of it. And that is something that I want to work on. Like I said, I want to work on only podcasting, that we can no longer do the iPad in here. And so that would be a little different in here. But, you've got to constantly be improving. You've got to constantly be changing. You've got to be constantly not scared to be bold in your testimony and bold in your salvation and bold in your prayer life. And I feel that that's something in 2026. Maybe that's my word. Maybe it's bold. I don't know. But I do know that there are some things that I want to do for WAPN. And so I feel like when you have a couple days off, I feel like you can reflect, and I can feel like you can think about what works over the 40 years and what didn't work. And there's going to be stuff that doesn't work. And there's going to be stuff that just didn't take off. But I believe with all my heart this year, the movement totally took off. I believe you hear about Christ more on normal TV, or you see the shirts more, or you see, that there's concerts and they're selling out or whatever. And I want to continue that. I want all my grandchildren to go to be saved. I want all my grandchildren to have that zeal, that fire, that wanting to do. During the holiday season, our grandchildren put on a play. And it was all about, the birth of Christ. And it was so touching, because when we went to SeaWorld, that is one of my favorite things to do, is go to the nativity thing. Now, I don't like the totally way they did it, but I like majority of it. And it touches me, but it works for all levels. It goes from little kids to adults. And so I get why they've done it that way. But it is so special, the story. And then to see my grandchildren, some of them, reenact it was so special. I mean, so special. Now, I am blessed to have grandchildren that go to Christian school. I am blessed to have grandchildren that, put it on their shirts, put it out there. When I was younger, we didn't do that. And I think that there's a whole new group of people out there that are boldly sharing their faith. And I want to boldly share it over WAPN. So pray for WAPN as I'm getting, people to record salvation prayers. Pray for WAPN as I'm picking new music for the 2026 year. I got a whole list of music that I'm working on today. Pray as I'm, training people that we move into the only podcasting easily and that it work well. And so just pray for us as we're doing a couple things around here. Let's get our favor on and let's get this day going. Don't use your words to describe your situation. Use your words to change your situation. I'm changing my situation with the words over WAPN. That's what I'm doing. You're listening to WAPN. It is Monday, December 29th, 2025. Weather 76 with a low of 53. Madison 72 with a low of 41. But I hear when I wake up in the morning, the high is like 56 tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Brr. If you need plants covered, this would be the time to cover up your plants. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday, Dawn Rayleigh and Tyler and Kimberly and everybody else celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy wedding week, whatever you're celebrating. Today is, and I cracked me up, it's TikTok day. Now, I didn't know if that's TikTokers or what, so I looked it up. And what it is, it's a day to reflect and finish up things that you started in 2025 before the year ends. So I thought that was really cool. Well, y'all, I am going to go help some people get this day going, train some people, program some stuff, and let's do it. Y'all have a wonderful, great day.